Hello everyone, welcome back. This is our lecture 1, class 9, subject English. In this lecture, we are going to discuss one new chapter of Beehive, that is chapter number 5, the snake and the mirror. In this lecture, we will discuss about the author, then we will have an introduction of the chapter, and then we will discuss the explanation in detail of this chapter. In the end, after the explanation, you will have your homework. Now, let's discuss this chapter, The Snake and the Mirror, class 9, Beehive. The author of this chapter is Vaikom Mohammad Bashir. Vaikom Mohammad Bashir, who was born on 21st January 1908 and died on 5th July 1994, was fondly known as Bepur Sultan, and he was an Indian independence activist and writer of Malayalam literature. He was a writer, humanist, freedom fighter, novelist, and short story writer, noted for his path-breaking, down-to-earth style of writing that made him equally popular among literary critics as well as the common man. His notable awards include Padam Shri in 1982, Kerala State Film Award for the Best Story in 1989, Lalit Thambika Antar Janam Award in 1992. Then he died on 5th July 1994 when he was 84 years old in Bepur, Calicut district, Kerala in India. The introduction of the chapter. So this chapter, this story, is a frightening story told by a doctor to his friends in a humorous way and has an unusual ending. The person telling the story is a young bachelor homeopathic doctor just starting his practice. The young doctor tells about his encounter with a snake in his house and how a mirror helped him escape an immediate death. Now let's see the explanation of the chapter. The homeopathic doctor is narrating the story. He asked the writer and the group if anyone had ever been wrapped up by a cobra snake. The audience became silent due to the fear of the cobra snake. Then the doctor narrated his story. So this is the story narrated by a homeopathic doctor, and before narrating the story, he asked the group and the writer if any one of them had ever been encountered with a cobra snake. It was a hot summer night, almost 10 o'clock. He was returning home after having his dinner at the restaurant. As the doctor was opening the door of his room, he heard a noise from above, but he did not react because he was used to such noises. So the doctor had just returned home, and as soon as he opened the door, he heard a strange noise, but he ignored it. He was used to listen to this kind of noise. He was habitual of listening to such noises as there were so many rats in his apartment. So he thought that it was the noise of rats. There were many rats in his room, so he was used to the noise. There was no light in the doctor's room, so he lighted the kerosene lamp with a matchbox. He had taken a small room on rent. So this was a room that he had taken on rent, and there was no electricity connection in his room, so he just lighted the kerosene lamp with a matchstick. As he had just started his medical practice, he was earning very less. His source of income was less as he was in the initial stages of his career. That is why he was living in such a shabby or dirty condition. He told the writer that he had just 60 rupees in his bag. So when he was narrating the story, he explained the reason for living in such a shabby condition, that he was not earning enough to live in a huge apartment. So, and also he told that he had just 60 rupees in his bag. Further, he added that he had some shirts and dhotis to wear. He also had a black colored coat which he was wearing at the time of the incident. So that indicates that he had only few shirts and dhotis to wear, and except those he had one black colored coat which he used to wear on some special occasions. He removed his coat, his shirt and his vest. He says that the vest was not so white, which means that it was dirty. That explains his condition, that explains the condition of his room and his apartment. Then he opened the windows. As there was no electricity, initially he lighted the lamp, then he opened the windows. The room which he had taken on rent was on the outside of the house, and one wall of the room faced the garden. The roof had tiles on it, and the gable was supported by the beams. Inside the room there was no roof. The beam on which the gable was supported was full of rats. So there was a small hole, and in that hole there were so many rats which went in and out of the room through it. So there was no roof, no light, nothing. He just opened the windows, and there were so many rats who used to live in that gable. So he just opened the windows to have some air so that he could sleep. He set his bed near the wall, and he laid down to sleep, but he could not sleep. So he just shifted his bed near the wall, near the window, so that he could lay down and sleep. But it seemed that the wind god had taken time off, means that as the wind was not blowing, the wind god had taken a day off. So it was appearing to him that the wind god had taken a day off and there was no wind blowing. He was on a holiday, and so wind was not blowing at all. He had gone out to get some fresh air because he did not have any fan or cooler in his room, and he was feeling hot. It was really hot and he could not sleep. So, and there was no wind blowing. So he just went out to have some fresh air, as he did not have any fan or cooler in his room. He came back to his room and sat on a chair, and he opened the box under the table and took out a book named Materia Medica. That means that book was related to his medical practice. He kept it on the same table on which a lamp, a mirror, and a small comb was lying. He opened it and sat down. So, after taking out some fresh air, he came back to his room, and he opened a book and kept it on a table where other things like lamp, mirror, and a small comb was lying. As he was sitting in front of the mirror, he looked at his image in the mirror. As he sat in the front of the mirror, and though he was about to read his medical practice book, but as soon as he looked into the mirror, he was lost in his world of imagination. He says that he was a great admirer of beauty. As he was a young man, he liked to appreciate beautiful things and wanted to improve his looks to look more handsome. So he started admiring his own beauty as he was a young man and was a doctor too. So he was appreciating his beautiful things and wanted to improve his looks. So he was lost in his imagination that what he should do to improve his looks. As he was unmarried, he was young, he was a doctor, and he was unmarried too. He was a doctor too, he was a eligible bachelor. So he wanted to make people know that he was also available. That means he started admiring his beauty and he started consolidating himself by saying that everyone should know that he is a bachelor and he is available. He combed his hair. He started combing his hair, trying to set them properly in order to see in what way they are looking best upon him. When he was combing his hair, he again heard the same sound from above but ignored it. As he was lost in his own world of imagination and started admiring his own beauty by sitting in front of the mirror, he was combing his hair and was lost in the thoughts of his own beauty only, that how to improve his looks. Then again he heard the same strange noise but he ignored it. He looked carefully in the mirror and decided that he would shave daily and grow a thin mustache because he thought that he would look better and more handsome with it. So he just ignored the strange noise again and again was lost in his world of imagination. He looked carefully and decided that he would shave daily so that he would look more handsome and he would grow a thin mustache to look better and attractive. He appreciated himself and said that he had an attractive smile. Another thing that he decided was that he would always keep smiling because he looked better when he smiled. So he was sitting in front of the mirror, was combing his hair and was consolidating all the thoughts and imaginations how to look better, that by keeping a smile on his face, as he thought that he would look more better if he smiles. The doctor was being ironic when he said that to keep smiling was an earth-shaking decision because his living conditions, his own conditions were not legible enough to make him smile every time. So his thought of keeping a smile always was an irony here. He got up from his chair and started walking up and down in the room, and then he decided on one more thing. So he was lost in his world of imagination and thoughts, so he just got up and started walking to and fro in his own room. Then he decided to marry a woman doctor, one who had lots of money and a good medical practice. So one more thing he decided, despite improving his own looks, he decided that he would marry a woman doctor who had lots of money and who would have a good medical practice. Further, the doctor thought that he would marry a fat girl. For that, he had a logical reason also. He reasoned that if sometime he makes some mistake and his wife chases him in anger to hit him, she will not be able to run fast and catch him if she would be fat. So he started collecting thoughts that either he should marry a fat girl or a thin girl. So if he would marry a fat girl, then definitely she would not be able to run as fast in order to catch him if any day he would do anything wrong. So such silly thoughts were coming into his mind while he was sitting in front of the mirror. Thinking all these things, the doctor again sat down on the chair. Now the sound had stopped, but all of a sudden something fell down, making the sound of a thud. That means when he was thinking all these things, he again sat down and the sound had stopped. But suddenly something fell down that made him look around, and it felt like that some rubber tube had fallen, and the doctor did not bother about it. Still, the doctor did not bother, and he just ignored to even look around that what had actually happened. As soon as the doctor turned, he saw that a big fat snake had crawled over the chair and sat on his shoulders. The timing of the doctor's turning around and the snake's landing on his shoulder was same. So as soon as the doctor turned to saw that what had actually fallen, he saw that a big fat snake had crawled over the chair, and now when he turned around, then that moment only that snake landed over his shoulder. He did not panic, jump or tremble. He did not shiver. He did not scream. It happened so fast, so instantly that he did not have any time to react. He could not think that how to react that time. The snake moved in such a way that it wrapped itself on the doctor's left arm like a coil. So the snake moved and wrapped itself around the doctor's neck like a coil. It was in such a position just 3 to 4 inches away from his face that if he would have moved slightly, the snake could have bitten him. So, if the doctor would have moved a bit even, the snake could have bitten him, and it was just 3 to 4 inches away from his face. So one can imagine the situation, the condition in which doctor was sitting on a chair, and when the death is approaching to him so desperately, and one cannot escape the snake, one cannot escape, one cannot move in such a condition, as if one would move, the snake would get angry. There was darkness all around him. Outside the room, inside the room, it was all very dark. There was only single light, that was the light of the lamp, and in that light he was sitting like a statue. So imagine, there was darkness all around, only one kerosene lamp was lighting, and he was sitting like a statue, and just 3 to 4 inches apart from him a snake was there. As he was in trouble, he started feeling the presence of God. He was not able to do anything, so he started thinking of God. He decided not to speak lest he should anger the snake. So he decided not to speak, not to move a bit even, because he knew that it would anger the snake and ultimately that would lead his death. In his heart, the doctor was praying to God to save his life. So he started feeling the presence of God and started praying to God to save his life. As the snake has coiled itself, it had wrapped itself around his arm. It was experiencing a lot of pain. He was feeling as if a thick molten rod made of lead was crushing his arm and breaking it. He felt helpless. He could not do anything to save himself, as the snake was heavy. So the doctor was experiencing a lot of pain, as if a thick molten rod made of lead was crushing his arm and breaking it. He was bearing a lot of pain, and in that condition he could not move even. He knew that if he moved a bit, the snake would attack him. Death was very near. It was sitting at a distance of 4 inches. So he knew that if he moved a bit, the snake would attack him, and then he would not be able to run away even. So death was very near to him, only 4 inches apart. He thought that if the snake bit him, then what would he do? Which medicine he would take? And then he recalled that there was no medicine in his room. He felt that he was a poor, foolish and stupid doctor. He was feeling very weak, and as he did not have any way to come out of this situation, he smiled at his foolishness. So he thought that in case if the snake bit him, then which medicine he would take. Then he thought that there is no such medicine available in his room, though he was a doctor. So he was cursing himself for not keeping a medicine for snake bite. And out of fear, he smiled at his own foolishness. The doctor felt that God appreciated the doctor's realization of his mistake. He said that the doctor appreciated that at least he had realized his mistake of not keeping a medicine for snake bite, as something favorable happened and the doctor's life was saved. The snake moved its head to the other side and saw the mirror. It looked at the mirror and saw its own reflection in it. So, something favorable happened, that is, the snake looked other side and saw its own reflection in it. It is not possible that any snake had never looked at itself in the mirror before, but yes, this snake was looking at itself in the mirror, and the doctor was surprised because the snake was looking at itself in the mirror very carefully. So the doctor is saying that might be it is possible that snakes used to see itself in the mirror, but this snake who was coiling around his neck was looking at itself very carefully. The doctor imagines that the snake must be imagining different styles like he was thinking few minutes back when he was looking at his face in the mirror. He thought that maybe the snake was thinking of growing a moustache, or maybe of wearing eyeshadow and mascara to look more pretty, or maybe it was thinking of wearing a red colored bindi on its forehead. So the doctor started imagining the things that might be the snake also admiring his beauty, and if the snake is a male, then he would be thinking of growing a moustache, but if the snake would be female, then the snake would be imagining to put eyeshadow or mascara or a bindi to look more pretty and beautiful. The doctor did not know whether it was a male or a female snake, and he says that he will never come to know this because just then it crawled from his arm and moved down onto his lap. From there it jumped and started crawling over the table. As the snake saw its own reflection in the mirror, then the snake started moving down from the author's neck and started crawling over the table. It crawled very close to the mirror and started looking at itself. The doctor thought that maybe snake wanted to look at itself and have a closer look at its appearance. So the doctor thought that maybe the snake wanted to see its own image more closer. So it crawled over the table and went near the mirror. The doctor was no longer a mere statue made of stone. As soon as the snake crawled and got down from him, he came back to life. As soon as the snake crawled down, he came back to life. As the snake had crawled out of doctor's lap, he stood up. Till now, he had stopped his breath because he was scared of the snake. Now he quietly moved out of the door, jumped from the garden, and simply ran away. All the people who were listening to the doctor's story got relief and took a deep breath after they came to know that he was saved, and someone from that group asked him whether his wife was fat. So the listeners were curious enough to know about his imaginations, and they asked whether his wife was fat. He replied that his wife was thin and tall, just like a reed plant, because God did not want his wife to be fat, so she was thin and could run very fast. So he replied that his wife was thin and the God did not want his wife to be fat so that she could run after him. Another person from the group asked him whether the snake chased him, to which the doctor replied that he ran and ran till he reached a friend's house. There he took an oil massage, took bath and wore fresh clothes. He did not know if the snake had chased him or not because he did not look behind him. The next day around 8:30 in the morning, the doctor along with two of his friends went to the room to bring his belongings from there. There was not much stuff to take. There was not so many things with him to take, but whatever the things were, they came around to take those belongings with them. Someone had stolen most of the things from his room, but left behind one thing. He thought that the thing which he left behind was to insult him. So his apartment had been stolen and there were not so many things left, but there was only one thing left by the thief, which was to insult the doctor. The writer asked the doctor what was the thing which the thief left behind. He replied that he left the vest which was dirty and was hanging on the wall. He added that the thief was so much into cleanliness that he left the dirty vest there only. He says that the naughty thief could have taken it along with him, washed it with soap and could have used it. So he ended his story in a humorous way by saying that the naughty thief would have taken his dirty vest also and would have used it after washing it with soap. Someone asked the doctor if he saw the snake the next day. He laughed and replied that after that night he never saw that snake. Maybe the snake was attracted towards its own beauty, that is why it looked so carefully in the mirror. So he replied that he never saw that snake and that the reason behind that he admires his own beauty, that is why it was looking so carefully in the mirror. Now your homework is that you have to revise the chapter number thoroughly, read the chapter thoroughly and then do the textual questions. You may do the questions in your practice notebook. If the answers are found in book, then you may mark them in the book also, and after matching your answers you may note them down in your fair notebook.